they get it what it is, what their assignment is. And my Lord was immediately there striking her. So they should have first called, oh, your Lord is striking me. Somebody in my family they've been killed. Look, I anticipate that. Do your job. Give me what's mine. Give me what's mine. Come do this home study. So when I go here at Felicia Gladney's page, of course doing the trials, all of the time doing the trials and going through the courts for those 4 years from 2019 until and also dealing with the appellates, that process from 2019 until 2023. I didn't go look at Felicia Gladney. I didn't go by her, and I'm on break too, of course, for my lunch here. I'm on lunch here. It's 2:11 a.m. February the 1st, and it's 2025, February the 1st here. 2 a.m. Central Standard, 2:11 actually, 2:12 at now. As we approach I can just change no, I can't change it around from there. 2:12 on the 1st of the Black History Month. I'm gonna be in Zambia, and we'll be making that trip to Zambia in 11 days now. But preparing for the brief, preparing for dealing with those 2 trials I had to endure. I didn't go to her page to give an analysis to that. With Carl Walker, I'm just seeing some things on his case recently that wasn't there when I looked him up. When I did a little bit of research on the appellates, and I didn't see these criminal records. Well, not a criminal record, but the criminal sealing. They sealed his criminal action when I was being the last honorable year of my service in the Navy. He was being groomed for his eventual task of attacking my parental rights. And now that he's done that, now they immediately unsealing it and ready to get him up out of there. You served your purpose. Now they're ready to get him up out of there. And that's why they're publishing all of a sudden now his crimes that they knew about when I was honorably being discharged, but they was prepping him, grooming him to prevent, just like they were grooming Drill Rap. They was grooming Drill Rap. They was grooming him to usurp and attack my parental rights. And so Felicia Gladney is part of that grooming, okay? And so they doing this analysis. They knew the vices of my son's mother, slipped to the Mickey. Felicia Gladney, a supervisor over at DCFS, knew what the play was. She knew what the play was, or you could argue maybe the play was for her to see it and then be able to make the right decision and do right by me and my son. And you can see here on February the 20th, this is when I was starting to rehire. Actually, yeah, this is okay. So this is before. This is with the case assessment. We saw the DCFS was involved with my son's mother before the culmination of the kidnapping, taking custody in March 13th of 2019. You can see here the indications that she already knew what her decision was going to make, because she's supposed to do the right thing in her job, okay? But she was given alternate cabal inclusion, okay? Alternate cabal inclusion to be involved with this crime of stealing my son. And and a part of it as well, they sell it to, he's promoting Trump. He's a Pan-African, and he can use his Pan-Africanism through Trump, We can't allow this, we can't allow this. This is how you get, we need you to get, we can't allow that. But the task as a supervisor is to give me my boy back. But if she does that, she'll stay in a dead end job. She felt as though that DCFS job is dead end. Right here it says, if any moment you feel unappreciated or disrespected by your job, business, relationships, it's time to move on. So right here, she knows that she's about to be able to move on with this opportunity. Now, she doesn't acknowledge who it is in her family that's close to her that dies when she initially, because they first gave the case to another woman. And then, as I say, the cousin told her that, she can, that she didn't want to suck my son anymore. And so I'm in a McDonald's meeting on Chicago Avenue with this lady. And I'm like, well, okay, I should be able to put this. It's on YouTube, and I'm gonna probably put it in this feature here that I'm working on, in this post here. And I was like, yeah, send me my boy, bring me my boy. I want my boy. I've been telling you all this. We shouldn't have to go through this. Okay, come, let's do the home study. She don't want him no more. That's great. Give him to me. Y'all shouldn't have gave him to her in the first place. Give him to me. Okay. Right after that, she dodged the few next meetings. I had a few other meetings, a few visitations. She canceled that. Oh, the foster parent canceled. She wasn't able to make it. This the day of when I'm en route. I'm at the location. She stands me up. Don't show up. Okay, don't show up. Oh well, the foster parent can, and they do this numbers of time. This is throughout the whole duration of the visitation up until August, when I had the warrant. Okay, all the visitations were infringed upon, interrupted. Just savage, brutal, evil kidnapping. It's like it's a chattel slavery, no different than a plantation chattel slavery situation with Felicia Gladney using the unappreciated. She's unappreciated for being told to give a son back to a father who said vote for Trump. That's being unappreciated for her to be given her supervisor slot and then to be able to do that. Okay. So when the other lady was about to do her job of doing the home study, Felicia kicked her off and then took over her slot, took over that girl's job. She took it over with this here again, with the goal that she's about to move on to this position that she now has with the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. It's a useless job. They're basically trying to give her write-off, watered down mockery of the Black Forum type initiatives and things of collective will. She wasn't involved with any of that for years in her dead end job. When she's coming to the visitation nappy headed, none of the new weaves she wearing now, none of the pretty wake up she got now. She was looking like a DCFS bum that they have them at, so they can be ready to steal somebody's kid for the next handout come up. Okay, and they gave her a handout come up with that Urbana job. She don't have any man. All the little 10 likes that she was getting around this time, the 10, 14 likes when she's saying, if at any moment you feel unappreciated or disrespected by a job, they're giving her 14 likes to the cheerleader now. If these initial, when you go to her page now that she's reached the pinnacle of the handout for attacking me, they don't say hi to that. They didn't say hi in these old days when she did a little shout out on Father's Day. They make sure they don't give no likes to that. No likes to that. But right here, when they're cheerleading her on to do this evil act against my rights, she has likes here. Let's go back to some more of the pre-kidnapping days here. February, okay, and so what they're coaching her to do is, he's going to eventually come, and you want to show him how powerless he is with some insane Freudian type of therapy, as they want to say. You're going to kidnap some. Now, this is what she's posted to the world. But when we go to court, like in July, she told me, I don't, this is justified because of how you met your wife, and fuck your rights. Look, you're taking my rights, man. I'm not trying to hit none of that. You're taking my rights, and then she'll get vicious. in your face to get you wrapped up before court and tell you in your face, fuck your rights. That's what she said in my face. Like how this phone right here is up to my face. That's the distance that she had when she said, fuck your rights. And that's what she did. I wouldn't lie on the woman. I wouldn't lie on anyone. That's what she said. And if you're a woman, you will admit that, Felicia Gladney, the evil of your ways. But it's confessed in here. She confessed pretty much around here. Be happy and just smile, she said. It makes you feel good. You. She got to highlight you. As though you can't smile if someone's stealing your child, Felicia. She knows this. She knows this. Want to be happy. She's covering Kirk Franklin, and as though she cares about him not being told about his daddy. She has the spirit of Kirk Franklin's mother. Okay, the son gets to be involved with who you as a tyrant decides he gets there. She got a post up here about authentic prayers. The entirety of her page is lacking in authenticity when you talk about how she's a blatant disruptor of the home. No one can write your story and no one can finish it. Work hard for your dream. It shall come to life. You wasn't you don't believe in that. You believe in adding difficulties to people's lives who work hard. You saw my record, no criminal record. No criminal record. You see? And there's a gentleman here, Marcus Gill. She's using you as justification as a pastor. You got your Malcolm glasses on, as though that gives you some credibility, and she's using that and to justify it as, hey, I told somebody my plans. I talk about this Pan-African self-determination too much, and because of that, this is a March 24th. This is around the time right before the court date. Because of myself and being inclusive and self-determined and uncompromising, it's my fault that Felicia's targeting my son and taking him and all of these things that he says with his speech. You know.
Section below by typing amen, and I want you to share this video with your friends and followers on your page.
This on her page. Yeah, share it on your Mark. That's not something that you want to support. A woman who's kidnapping upright men.
Let the world find out the greatness of the Lord in your life when they see it with their own eyes. They have to know everything that's happening and prosper. But why put yourself through unnecessary warfare?
Why put yourself through unnecessary warfare, they say. Me being self-determined is unnecessary warfare. That's what Felicia is being coached to believe. It's unnecessary warfare. None of her 10, see, the people who are egging her on, they don't want it like that because they know that's too much of a confession right here. This is a confession that she's sharing of her evil. You know, why place yourself through a warfare? They telling the boil them up. Let's see some more of his sermon where they're confessing.
I want you to receive it and put this thing to work in your life. Listen, stop sharing all your plans.
Stop sharing your plans. Take down the blackforumsolution.com. Take it down. You're not supposed to post the blackforumsolution.com for your people's self-determination. Stop doing that. You're making us have to work harder in the church. Stop it.
Details of your vision. Stop telling everybody what's next and what's coming soon.
You can't do that.
Everybody around you is not excited about your future. There's some people that are excited about.
We're not even excited in the church because it's going to make us have to work hard. We got it made already in the shade. Full of women. We don't need you men. We just want the women here. Look, Felicia by herself. We don't need her having no man or one to promote no man.
Your blessed future, but then there are some people that are waiting to hear what you got coming up next. So
some people. It's only some people. It ain't all the people. It's only some. Don't even think you empowered to have most of the people. It's only gonna be some. So they ain't gonna be able to fight against Felicia. That's what he's saying.
The Bible when it tells us that no weapon formed against us shall ever be able to prosper. But why put yourself?
Why put yourself? He don't even believe in it. It ain't gonna be able to prosper. He said, "Why do it? Why do it?" He don't believe in it not be that weapon not being able to prosper. He gets one of my motherfuckers to sit down. Look, the best revenge. He knows that she deserves revenge. April 17th. He knows that they deserve revenge. That I'm preaching about what my Lord inflict on that Howard graduate. The next day in Philly at 6:30, I told you my mama died. They want to play games and say, hey, we're going to take your boy on the day your mama died on June 30th. So the day before we get into this Black History Month at 6:30 in Philly, where the Liberty Bell at, okay, we're going to have, since we've been stealing your boy for 6 years, my Lord say, we're going to give you some more vengeance. Just like I told you 6 days before his birthday, his 7th birthday, we got them flames in L.A. I get this river flow every day from my Lord. Talking about weapons formed against me. Well, why get into warfare? May 24th, she say, day 144. That's a 212 variation. 12 squares, 144. Walk by faith. You not walking by faith. How you gonna tell somebody to walk by faith and you walking by stealing people's kids? No credibility. No credit. You in the midst right here of taking someone's child, and this is what you posting every day. Okay? Stress is a choice, so is peace. How else are you to you know when you're kidnapping someone, you're telling them that they're choosing to be stressed. Okay, you need to choose peace by not doing black self-determination. Let us do the phony care, but since she wasn't doing nothing for daughters, what she's calling herself when Urbana has her false pretensing right now. Wasn't nothing done for no daughters. It's all false pretensing. It's all false pretensing. Look, I'm back. Did you miss me on Facebook in March 15th? She knows she got a deal. She knows she got a deal. She got a deal and an agenda from her cabal now. She got a deal from her cabal now. So now she back in March 15th of 2021. She got the cabal on her. She ain't been doing nothing but just trying to coach me with her stealing during this period up until this 2021 when she coming back. But again, you know, it's nothing that's of substance. So as I said, you know, preparing for briefs, preparing for trials while opening African institutes and successful campaigns for self-determination, I didn't have the time to dig into the background of some of the evil conspirators and all of the tentacles. And you know, it's damning for a lot of entities. The White Sox are an entity. Of course, you know, when I talk about Carl Walker, the universities that are having an output of these types of evil cabal connections, that they'll make these decisions to take people's children, take my son, to benefit someone, to give them pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, a bribe to do these evil things. As we can see, as I said with Carl Walker, it began in 2023 when I was being honorably discharged for my last year in the Navy. That's when they sealed his record, the same way that they're sealing, that they would like to seal the evil in the Child Protection Court. Okay, as Judge Judy said, when it's sealed, they're trying to hide the evil. They're trying to hide the evil. They sealed criminal acts of Carl Walker, and yet he's still able to rise to an appellate in the first district so that he can be a facilitator of kidnapping my son, because now that he's done that, he's immediately being exposed. It's unsealed now at the conclusion of that. It's unsealed. What did you do, Sanjay Taylor, to get Kamala Harris to be a supporter of you as a puppet? What did she do for you to cause that Mocha cyclone in India with your treachery? I have the numericals. I'm gonna do that upload on you specifically when I get to it. Right now I'm dealing with Felicia though, and I'm just not finding out. I see that she has a husband, and I didn't know she had a husband because she carries herself like a single evil cabal coat black woman, Western woman, not black woman, but Western woman. Okay. Because the African black women, who are the majority, don't behave in such wretched treachery so that her son can get a position on the White Sox. And they're not going to let him play on any major league team. They're just going to keep him down there to pacify you all. They're not going to risk their team being in the air disaster, like which was suffered on the Potomac, with the numerology that I told you all was going to occur when these evil appellates began their deliberations. Damon Gladney, he admits to it. I'm a little petty when you come to his page. I'm a little petty. I'm a little petty at someone else's expense so that I can have esteem. Okay, I'm a little petty. You can't expect this world to be fair, he said. How can you expect this world to be fair? He has the lion as if he's a Leo, he's a Leo like the Boiler Monk MC 212. Like he's a Leo. He's trying to justify his family's treachery. His family's treachery. The blood is on your family, Damon. The blood is on your family, Damon. You can see in this picture. Is that what veterans do? You're not a veteran if that's how you're behaving with your family. Oh, I can't be macho. I married up. She's punked you from the stand. How she married up? How you married up and you a fireman? And you were a fireman. She's taking all of your manhood. Why you're not supposed to take your husband's manhood? You're supposed to be a positive reflection to his covenant. You're supposed to be a positive reflection to the community, which you all's bond. That's why he's crying about all of his marriages, his friends' marriages deteriorating. Because you're not allowing him to be a man in the community. You're going around coming up here from Kansas City from your family. I go to her family's page. They all trying to get him a homes. They're all trying to create him a homes. The 6'1" brother who said he's a hopeless romantic. He knew I was going to come. He can't find him someone to make him a homes, so he knew I would come there. So he's advertising himself. Okay, and you come up here. You got your family. No, and your family's vicious. They're being vicious with Nelly. They're being vicious with Nelly down there because he went to the inauguration. So imagine what she'd do to me if I told you guys to vote for Trump in 2016. She was vicious. She came to court in 2019 of July and told me in my face when I said, Felicia, this is my son. I'm an honorable man. I have no criminal record. Why are you opposing me? Why are you not doing the functions to reunite me with my son? Oh, he's going to be a football player. I have the power to make him a Mahomes. My son is about to be, she didn't tell me her son about to be in the White Sox because I'm trying to get my son. I'm not focused on her life. Be professional and reunite me with my son that you're supposed to do. Fuck your rights is what she said. Fuck your rights. I can leave out of the court. They have their cabal bailiff. One of the bailiffs did right when I showed them at the trials, one of the two trials, when those state's attorneys were parading their interns around to show how they're demonic devils, to give them that smell of that evil, that fresh kill. I pointed out, why are they out here trying to soak up and absorb the the demonic spirit, the euphoric demonic spirit of their evil. Why y'all allowing them to be out here and bask out here in the waiting area with this humiliation? And the bailiff kicked them out of there. She kicked them out of there. They were protesting against being kicked out too, because they wanted me to bask in their demonic spirit. But the bailiff, she kicked them out of there. But there was a butch bailiff in there who didn't want. She wanted to go along with their treachery. And so when I complete a hearing, she'll stand in front of the door and block it so I can't get out. Just like those people couldn't get out of that plane falling in that Potomac, or at 6:30 the next day, the way we ended going into Black History Month. They couldn't exit. She didn't let me exit. She wanted me to hear that state's attorney in there put in an emergency order for someone else. The same emergency order that should have been placed with the attorneys who I paid to reunite me with my son. Okay? And Felicia Gladney there, Damon, you and your household were the first ones to facilitate this treachery by when the incident occurred, not following my due process, violating my due process, reaching states of her conspiring to place my son with trafficking homosexuals, conspiring with the foster placement provider who he's with now so that she can withhold from the court, that they placed them with these pedophiles. She withheld that from the court, Damon, because people like your wife were coaching her to do that. Just like your family's down there trying to coach St. Louis to bash and cancel Nelly. Damon Gladney. I'm about to go watch some Damon Gladney Jr. Video and see how dynamic he is to get D Rose status. He's not a D Rose status to get picked by the home team. He's not a Bronny James. How he getting picked by the home team? Because his wife was involved with treachery against a Marcus Garvey. That's why she came in there and said, "Fuck your father's rights. I'm gonna make your son a football player." She can't even do that with none of her family down there in St. Louis. All of them trying to make them Mahomes. Okay, all the males who reproduce and they don't even want no black woman. They're trying to make them a Mahomes. All of her black women down there, all of her black women family, they ain't got no husband. They don't want no man. She don't want no man. She just using that vet she has as a front. That's why she don't want to be seen with him in none of the pictures on her on the main page that she used, the Faith Gladney. You might see her there. I haven't saw that one. I haven't went up and down that one yet. I'm gonna go up and down that one. But the peak of her, any interest, they don't have any interest of doing nothing community with their son who's much older than the other sisters, the one who they're giving the D Rose favorability to. They wasn't doing anything for the community then. They're just trying to front now. Okay, because they know that I was going to be coming for them because of their treachery of being involved with that cabal and stealing my son. That's why he has his page so that you can't comment it on there. The senior, Damon Gladney Sr. He knows this. He knew I was going to come. He's confessing on there. I'm petty. I'm trapped in I need my marriage. This is what I have to do to maintain my marriage. Otherwise, he's going to be kicked to the curb like the rest of his friends who he said is deteriorating, who he can't even communicate with. Who they're pressuring him out. They're telling him he can't even communicate with the men. And he's justifying it by saying they were too macho. His old friends. They were too macho, you know. The only thing I could probably do is speak. That's the least they're going to let me do. That's the only thing I can stand up for do is to speak. Okay? That's why. Again, so that young lady, the Howard professor, she was going to pursue her Howard professorship.
Train number 512 to Chicago OTC is arriving in approximately 10 minutes.
She was en route.
West train number 512 to Chicago OTC is arriving in approximately 10 minutes.
Yeah, she was she was going to the professorship in for Howard, the same the same College of the Evil appellate judge who facilitated the kidnapping, Sharon Odell Johnson. We know that the last post of the Howard professor was she was going to be the professor. We could still put that on her resume, of course. They cursed her glory. The appellate there, for Sharon for being in collusion with the criminal Carl Walker, who was also assigned to do that. They was sealing his record in 2003 when I was completing my honorable discharge. I was completing my honorable discharge there. My honorable discharge in 2003, when appellate first district Carl Walker was he was having his record sealed, his criminal record sealed, preparing him for the kidnapping that he was to adjudicate. He was to facilitate the completion of the adjudication of kidnapping my son. And now that he's completed his evil deed, they're unsealing it all of a sudden. They're unsealing it and they're getting rid of him. Okay, and so as I said, we know that, and so Sharon was in cahoots with him. I wonder what Kamala, what complicity did Kamala have to get Sanjay Taylor his adjudicationship? Of course, that was part of the deal for him to go along with not overturning Patrick Murphy's evil kidnapping of my son. That's why Kamala Harris showed up for Sanjay Taylor. He don't have any deeds. He was a reject in Loyola. He didn't have any deeds of substance to rise to the occasion of a first district appellate. And that's why he cursed India with that Mocha cyclone. I'm going to get to him. But we're dealing with the Potomac right now. We're dealing with the Potomac. That Howard professor's last post was on my father's birthday of June 1st. Go to the pageant when she's running in Kansas. That's the last post she did. Just like Sanjay Taylor's last post was on, before his picture with Kamala, was June the 29th. June the 29th, 2022. My mother died the next year, June 30th. June 30th, 2023. And you know the numerology there of their treachery. We have that plane in Philly crashing at 6:30. We have that plane crashing at 6:30. Because my Lord wanted to show them some real scripts. Since you want to place your butch to prevent the boiler monk, to show him that he's not going to be allowed an emergency order to get his son. They weren't able to get an emergency exit when that plane was crashing. Blame the family of Damon. Blame Jerry Reinsdorf for giving the White Sox deal, like Damon Gladney Jr. is a D Rose. He's not a D Rose. He's not a Bronny James to get a hometown selection with the major franchise. He's going to give that power to Felicia Gladney for stealing my son. How long has that been in the planning there? Jerry, White Sox organization. You can't be against Boston and their Red Sox with that type of treachery of all those Boston kids who crashed on that plane. Is that what you want for your franchise there, Jerry Reinsdorf? Major League Baseball, is that what you guys want to be complicit with? Is that the karma of societal karma you want? The wrath from my Lord on my behalf? Is that how you want it? Yeah, Jerry Reinsdorf, that intimidated his Pan-Africanism. Of course he'll give Felicia Gladney's son that pacification to, be with his cactus leagues. That's nothing to prevent that boiler monk from having enough influence so that his franchise is deteriorating in appeal less than it is. But but you're gonna face the wrath. But you also, if you're inviting the wrath of my Lord. They might not be on your team, players, because you're not gonna allow Gladney to fly with your team. But look at what it's done to that Howard graduate, so that she can't create another Sharon Odin Johnson to being complicit with a sealed record criminal of 20 years, so that he can finalize his completed criminal act to disenfranchise the black community of my services. Services that's been proven that has consensus when it's being respected with inclusion, such as the Honorable Councilors Namuli, election win, like my beloved U.S. Navy, placing me in the class president, A-Rock, I-Pop for a while, but couldn't nobody call cadence like me, like being the electric plant distribution supervisor as an E3 during wartime, baton down. We planned for September 19, 2001 underway. The plant disassembled. Who's in control of that distribution plant to get it ready on 9/11? Get all the motors wired up. Get that ship ready for that underway that night of 9/11. Who was that? Who they made sure they had in that distribution plant for that? You don't get to then Jerry Reinsdorf come along and usurp that readiness, that capability for his community of self-determination. You don't pacify that. You don't call up someone from St. Louis so that she can be a part of such treachery in Chicago, and think that my Lord is not going to have the final say of retribution on my behalf. Your other caseworker that was right before you, she was supposed to come do it. She told me that she was going to move him with the cousin who was staying in Maywood said that she didn't want him anymore. That's in the record. She said she didn't want him anymore. And then the caseworker told me that. I'm like, oh, fine. Come do the home study and bring him to me. This is one of the caseworkers before Felicia Gladney. I got the videos up there. I'll get that up there in another segment. I still have the videos with her where I videotaped that actual discussion where she said, okay, can you get someone? Can we get another house to do the home study? Oh, sure. Come on. You know, because by this time, of course, the DNA had came back. It shouldn't have been the DNA. I already had proven consistent interaction involvement from conception of 2017. They saw receipts. That was part of the evidence. That had been part of the introduction since March. I gave them that, showing them that. Okay, records from 2017, June 2017, all the way up until their kidnapping in March of 2019. From his conception to their kidnapping of him at 1 year old, up until this time, where the wrath of my Lord, after, beginning 6 days before his 7th birthday, concluding this month of January, 17 days after his birthday on the 13th, like the 17 years of age that my mother was when she had me, with more wrath to a Howard graduate whose last post was on my daddy's birthday in 2015, his 56th birthday. Because of this Howard appellate there, who was hired on December the 7th of 2020. Okay, Felicia, she comes and tells me in July of 2019, yeah, we're gonna make your son a football player. Look, Felicia, give me my son. Well, you met your wife through this way and that way, and the way you met her, all of this is completely irrelevant. DCFS caseworker, you out of pocket. You need to give me my son. You need to, I can show you, if you got concerns about my father, being the father, if you sincere about your duties, I can show you I have no criminal record. Actually, you know this. I don't have no criminal record. Okay? You see that I'm gainfully employed as an electrician. Okay? You seen, I shouldn't have to give you this, but you've seen records of my involvement providing funds, okay, consistently since its conception. I provided you these emails, okay. You need to respect my rights. This is literally what she says when I tell her to respect my rights. Fuck your rights. She's trying to get me riled up before we go into court, and so I got some videos with her too, when you can see during the visit with my son. She's completely evil, a completely evil woman, a completely nappy-headed. She was nappy. She looking a little fresh now. They didn't gave her some positions then, but this was at the beginning when they was first giving her the business. And when I say this, I wasn't disrespectful around her. This just in retrospect observation of her insecurities that will cause her to believe that she can take my son. These are the things that I noticed. She wasn't having her hair wasn't done and nothing like that. So imagine, how a Western woman feels if that's not managed, and she went to college or whatever. This is her come up ticket to take what's mine. They're gonna give her a PhD. Make all that shit easier for her when you talk about what she's been accomplished since she was stagnant for years up until my boy is what you will see. Okay. So again, I want to point out that I was right here. This was before I knew that there was a Damon Gladney that was involved. So when you scroll up and down his page, is very demonic looking. You can see that he knows that he's involved with his wife's treachery. He's cheerleading it. He's cheerleading her treachery, and you can see it. He has these very dark pictures where he's off in the shadows and this, thank you, brother. And it's very dark and doom and gloom, and you can tell that he's embellishing this demonic euphoric spirit that he knows he's a part of with his wife. And she's over on the other page, false pretensing, trying to contrast that with with all of the sermons and all of the the religious doctrines that she's not living by, knowing that she was involved with stealing my son and being part of a chattel plantation for her own benefit. And so I'm gonna be posting it. I just wanted to cover that up right here. I'm doing different segments of the creation of this piece, and so when you see me speaking, saying Felicia, annotate that to Jerry Reinsdorf. Annotate that to her husband. Her husband is enabling this. Jerry Reinsdorf with the White Sox, he paid for it, because I'm looking at the records here of the junior, and he's not a Derrick Rose to be given a franchise position on the Chicago home team, and he doesn't have the talent for that. So they paid him that. They pacified Felicia Gladney, husband, Damon Gladney's household. They pacified him to be part of that treachery, just like they pacified Carl Walker, sealing his record way back in 2003, yet they let him become an appellate judge. They passed it. That was his plan. That was the plan with him from the get-go. 20 years before he made that deliberation in 2023, that was his task, to be a demonic devil for them. Okay? And so now that he's done the job, they've gotten rid of him. Now that Felicia's done the job, they're going to keep her son down there in the minor leagues. They're not going to call him up and risk their planes crashing like that just happened on the Potomac, because Sharon Odell Johnson of Howard University cursed that young lady who was going to take her job for Howard University as a professor. Her last post was on my daddy's birthday. So Felicia Gladney and her husband and Jerry Reinsdorf and his pacification with the White Sox led to that societal karma. Okay? My Lord doesn't play. I warned them that my Lord would be vicious when they begun their deliberations to return my son. So deal with it or continue to face the wrath on my behalf. Okay. And yeah, she said that in my face to somebody who she had to know, grew up in the west side of Chicago. She still was immediately that amplified because she knows now that I'm transitioning to an upstanding citizen. So that's someone who now, okay, you can attack and target because he has that risk of if he does something to you, that'll impact his income. But that's not gonna. But and so those are the circumstances that's will cause my Lord's rage, so that I can then say within my testimony that I'm not a victim. That's why my Lord's rage will be so precise with the numerology, and we're going to see some reaction from again the public. It's 4,000. I don't put too much promotion with the African Times News that I need to as I pick up. We're going to be picking up the promotion efforts with that, and of course having that association, always the inclusive aspects of the staffing initiatives with the skilled trades in those areas and developing that best use, of course, of my collective capabilities and a lot of innovation aspirations and endeavors that I foresee from an armada of collective will towards those types of continuations. Okay, and so they had the whole complete phone hack actually too as well. They had the phone hacked. You're gonna see the phone. I press a few buttons, and then you're gonna see that the phone is continuously dialing numerous. I had to completely do a full reset here on this April 4th date. Just the type of treachery that's will show again that incident that just occurred over the Potomac is a societal karma type of situation when you come at someone of my esteem. You talk about how Boston was impacted. That was my first port in 2001. That was my first port visit for the baton. Took the first Marines to service in 2001. And so, the preemptive aspects of the 61 event, when you talk about my son now being 7 with 6 plus the 1 from the preemptive aspects of the numerology. Again, tight-knit group. I want to be tight-knit with my son. You see the pictures, the video I have. My son's a man's boy. You see the video that I have posted on YouTube. Since the very first meeting with him, my son is a man's boy. You see those types of, again, interactions with my son as a man's boy that Felicia Gladney interrupted. She interrupts savagely as an inhumane, barbaric beast worthy of bringing that type of wrath on behalf of someone who would facilitate someone like her. When you talk about what Odin Johnson then went along and did with the first district appellate, to then go along and give your power to that type of savagery, gets that type of response, like that plane, having that type of devastation, those 6 days of championship, contribution to their craftsmanship, I didn't get to see 6 years of developing my 1% top E5 capabilities when testing with the entirety of a fleet. That needs to be instilled into the son, and so we're gonna hope that we can resolve this, that these types of consistently compelling artifacts towards doing the right thing will be compelling enough so that people can do the right steps. I'm not got to waste my time going to the Supreme Court until I have an assurance that, just as well as they have their assurances that they're going to do what's right, that's what needs to be done. Yeah, excuse me. The first attorney who I hired name was Eric Diggs. Eric Diggs, who was compromised, immediately compromised. He shouldn't have took the case. If you see representing your own brother is a waste of time, you shouldn't have took the case, because immediately taking the case, you should have established a home study. There's no criminal record, and you didn't do that. So you was immediately intentionally dropping the ball. And so, his name was Eric Diggs. I just wanted to clarify that. I think I said Tay Diggs. We had another court date on March the 26th where my representation was present and didn't represent who I was, didn't acknowledge that there was willful acknowledgement of me as the father, which had to be determined on March the 13th. They knew there was willing acknowledgement and didn't reach out to me. You had all the other fathers mentioned in their case assessment report, which was 74 pages long. They didn't mention me until like the 70th pages, which is consistent with the suppression. It was consistent with the suppression because they knew that I would be the father who would have the interest in getting my son so that I can continue with the raising that was occurring, that they have the information demonstrating. Okay, and so this suppression then placed my son in multiple households where there were situations where you should have services. They like to throw up services, these punitive probationary services that they like to try to punish me with, as though I'm not an honorably discharged sailor with no criminal record, gainfully employed as a tradesman, electrician, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and yet they didn't reach out to me. They didn't reach out to that type of father. They placed them in other households that's going to be demonstrated with the court, where there were a need for services with their significant others who my son was living. There should have been services, and yet there's no service requirement for them. But they like to always bring this up to me as though I'm somehow insubordinate or something, as though I should have to be subordinate to anything. I should have been given my son, and we should have been able to continue our loving relationship that they have demonstrated. They have the records that shows was in existence. Okay, and so the attorney who I have is attempting to suppress that. He did a horrible job with the representation on the 6th. Horrible job. He's continuing to do a horrible job. I can't hear anything. Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me? I can't hear anything.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
You see this? They're out of hacking my phone call and putting in more digits. Then gonna hang up the phone.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
You see this? Hacking the phone to prevent me from going to my court hearing.
You entered 4.
Can you hear me? I can't hear the audio.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
They hacking the call. I got to turn the phone off and come back on to the hearing because they got the phone hacked. Their body expression at the hearing showing that they know what's going on.
In the meeting, you are muted. You can mute.
6, 4, 6, 9.
You are in the meeting now. There are 12 participants in the meeting. You are muted. You can mute or unmute yourself by pressing *6. You are unmuted.
Good afternoon. This is Kendrew Slater. I'm present. I was having technical difficulties with the videos, so I had to call in.
Yeah, we noticed that. I don't know what the problem is, but it's on our end. I apologize. The case is over now, and the next court date is May 11th at 9 a.m. in court.
Sir, I don't get the requests for more visitations. I'm only allowed one visitation. How could it be proceeding without? And we saw the technical difficulties. I was supposed to be allowed to present my case. This has been the continuation since August the 21st.